Welcome to the Life with Joey Calvo podcast. I am Joey Calvo. Our podcast is part of the World Podcast Network, now with over 1,100 podcasts. Visit the World Podcast Network at https://worldpodcast.network to listen to podcasts in over 12 genres. Come vote our podcast episodes up and help us rise on the leaderboard. If you have a podcast of your own, you can join for free. So today our guest will be Kevin Palmieri. He is founder of the Next Level University that has a top 100 podcast with 1,700 plus episodes, 1 million listeners, made over $1 million in revenue, over 170 countries, is also a podcast host, and has been guest over 825. Kevin, welcome to the podcast. And so, first question. Who is Kevin?
Joey, first of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much. Kevin is somebody who likes helping other people. And at the end of the day, I think my ultimate goal in life is to be the type of person that I needed when I was at my lowest point and I was really struggling. And that looks like me podcasting, speaking, coaching to try to help as many people as possible get to the next level of their life.
Okay. All right. So, let's talk about the Next Level University.
Sure.
Because as we manage, excuse me a minute.
No worries.
Okay. We have that is one of the questions, believe it or not. And so the first question in reference to it, and I'm going to introduce you to our questionnaire. And her name is American Fox. And she is a real-life superheroine. She looks like Wonder Woman in a way, but like the Adrian Palicki version from 2011. But different bustier and, of course, so the test for you in reference to it is this.
All right. How did I come to start Next Level University?
University.
Joey, just
Yep.
Also, so you know, your audio and video was cutting out and you froze there for a sec, just so you know, just so you're aware.
Oh, yeah. It's called T-Mobile 5G. That's what it's called.
Okay,
so there's
perfect.
the question for you. Yes, how did you come to start Next Level University?
I was somebody who had accomplished external quote unquote success. I reached a financial goal that I aspired to create, and then I ended up sitting on the edge of a bed having suicidal ideations because I was so miserable, so unfulfilled. I didn't know who I was, didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. So that really was the thing that led me into podcasting. I wanted to help as many other people avoid the problems that I had found myself dealing with. And I had been interviewed on a YouTube channel right around the same time this happened. After the interview, I said to one of my friends, I said, imagine if you could do that for a living. Imagine if you could make that your job. And he said, there's people out there that do. So I went and bought the equipment. I went on Fiverr.com and had somebody help me make artwork. And then from there, I fell in love with podcasting. That was in 2017.
Wow. Yeah, we've been doing this since 2019, believe it or not. And the only reason why we're not on the Anchor/Spotify for podcasters is because they changed the whole platform to the point where I can't record it. They want it now a different way. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. So we are just mainly on YouTube.
Okay.
All right. So question number 2 from our beautiful number 1 fan, supporter, and superheroine American Fox is this. What advice do you offer young people in this economy?
That is a challenging question to answer for sure, because it's a challenging time to be a human in regards to the economy. What the advice that I would offer young people is that if you're trying to look successful, you most likely are going to be wasting money that you do not have and that you need to save. Focus on limiting expenses, because right now there are a lot of ways to spend money. We have a lot of subscriptions that we don't realize we have. Maybe you don't need Netflix and Hulu and Amazon and Disney Plus and whatever other Peacock network. Focus on going to a more simplistic lifestyle when it comes to that. And this is the other thing I would say. In any economy, in any time in history, track your finances every day, because you tracking your finances is going to bring awareness to where your money is going, and then you can make more intelligent decisions based on that awareness.
Well, that's one thing I can say with American Fox, because we've gotten to know each other over the past year and a half, and anything that becomes a cost, she's like, don't do it, you know? So she makes sure I save money every which way. But she's a great superheroine. She is a real life superheroine, believe it or not. I'm not lying about that. No secret identity. She's not like, Wonder Woman being Diana Prince. So there's no secret identity to American Fox. But she does go fight crime. And there is another picture of her besides this really hot one that shows her rear end. Just bear with me one moment. Yep, wrong way. That was the podcast I originally wanted to start. There we go. Here we go. Another picture of American Fox. And her third and final question is this. What are your thoughts of superheroes?
I think superheroes are wonderful, and I think they are very inspiring and very influential. And I think when I was a young man, I definitely looked up to a lot of superheroes because it made me believe in a brighter future, and it made me believe that I could be something that I didn't think I was. So I think it's very, very positive. I think it's really good for inspiration. I think it's really good for motivation, and I think it's a really good thing to aspire to. It creates an opportunity to chase something into a brighter future.
Okay. Well, that's what American Fox is, like you say. Originally, I've been a Wonder Woman fan growing up. And when I met American Fox, that just turned the table. And I really got interested in American Fox a little bit more. Like I said, she looks like Wonder Woman. She is an Amazon like Wonder Woman, but not, like I said, different bustier, bustier, different tiara. Well, she calls it headband. But she, like you said, she literally fights crime, no secret identity. She is the greatest person to get to know. She's on Twitter and she's on Instagram. On Twitter, it's American Fox at American Fox 4. And on Instagram, it's at American Fox 12018. That is where you can find American Fox. She has been, she's been like my rock. She makes sure that I don't fall into the abyss. I know as I was reading your bio that you had a beautiful girlfriend, a high-paying job, a sports car, dream body, and everything. And believe me, I wish I had American Fox right now. I really do. I really, really do. She knows it too, believe it or not. So another thing, and I'm going to take her off now. I think we spoiled her enough. Thank you, American Fox, as always, for being that support and rock. Now, you've given hundreds of speeches and trainings and coaching sessions with people all over the world. And mainly, you said the main thing that changed was you. Elaborate a little bit on it.
Yeah, I think it's very easy to see where somebody started their journey and then where they ended up, and then assume a number of things had to change in between the beginning and where they are today. But for me, the biggest thing that changed was me. I worked really hard on having more positive habits. I worked really hard on raising my self-awareness, being more consistent, being more disciplined. And honestly, my relationship with myself is one of the things that has changed the most. I might come across as somebody who has a ton of self-belief. If that is the case, I'm grateful, but I have worked very, very hard on a lot of the limiting beliefs, not feeling good enough, not feeling smart enough. That has been a really, really big challenge over the last 7 years. So a lot has changed, but I think a lot has changed because I started trying to work on myself and changing myself and improving myself first.
Yeah, I've been trying to do that, and it's been because I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression in 2009, and it's been let's just say it this way. You hear the normal the normal stereotype. You're your worst own. You are your own worst enemy.
Mm-hmm.
I live by it, literally. I could be easy on everybody else, but if it's me, I will bash I'm not saying physically bash myself, but I will mentally bash myself into the ground. Literally. And never forgive at the same time. Which has been my heart. It got to the point now where I actually stopped seeing a therapist because I was telling myself, I'm never going to get out of it. Because when I do try to get out of it, it turns into a circle. And it repeats itself over and over and over and over to the point where, like I said, you can't stop it. So that's why I literally stopped. I don't say I could say right now, I could say I'm the ugliest person in the world. Literally. There are some people that tell me I'm not, but I'm 270 pounds. I'm 5'4". I'm fat as can be. Believe me, I don't look great, I'm not the greatest person. Now, even when I was in high school and I was weighing 120 pounds and all that, I still would tell myself I'm the ugliest person in the world. Because, because I literally, like I said, was my own worst enemy. So I would never lift myself up to a point where I can say, Joe, you are this great guy. You got everything looked out for you and so on. No, I will never say that about me. Never. Even if I made an attempt to, it wouldn't last because I will bash myself back in and back into that mentality of ugly, all that I mentioned earlier, ugly and fat and so on. I mean, even American Fox would tell me that I'm not ugly and fat, but truth be told, I am. Now, one thing that you focused on learning during all this time is what you didn't know. And you were unlearning a lot as well. And that your life started to shift. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I think that a lot of us, again, learning is super important and super valuable, and learning is one of the keys to growing for sure. But a lot of us have stuff that we need to unlearn. Maybe it was the way we were raised. Maybe it was the way our parents talked to us. Maybe it's the limiting beliefs that we have. Maybe it's, that type of stuff. I think going out and saying, I'm going to read a book on how to be more consistent or whatever it is always going to be super important. But I think unlearning the book of you that isn't real, that isn't based in reality, that was taught to you by somebody else, I think that's always going to be something that's super, super important. And that's something I tried to do is, why do I have the mindset I have? Why do I have the money mindset I have? Why do I have these limiting beliefs? Why don't I think I'm good enough? I'm smart enough. So a lot of what I tried to do, Joey, was unlearn the stuff that I knew was holding me back while also trying to learn about the stuff that would help propel me forward.
Yeah. Like I said, I've made attempts on that as well, and it always pulls me right back in. And it, like I said, it got to the point where I was like, I can't fight it anymore. You know, as like I said, as much as I can say, you know, that I mean, don't get me wrong. I am a good person to others. And to quote, to others, not to me. As much as everybody can tell me I'm a sweetheart, I could be a sweetheart to everybody else, not to me.
Yeah.
I could do what I can to help you, but in the long run, I try to make it worth more. And that was one mistake I made in reference to a friendship. And matter of fact, that friendship was with, believe it or not, her. Now, I mean, I wanted so much more, and I kept pushing. And and her, and then I had another previous guest on the podcast. Her name was Elise Alexander. The two of them literally just told me who I was. And as soon as they told me who I was like, that's it. Now I know I'm done. And I was to the point, and I'm still to the point where I'm ready to start isolating myself away from everybody. Because I don't want to present that person anymore to anyone. That person shouldn't even be out. That person should be locked away in a cage for the rest of their lives. So, as that has been happening, and I've been wanting to, there's been a little struggle. And that struggle has been the support of American Fox. You know, being there, like I said, if she didn't come up with these questions, I probably wouldn't have had many questions for you, you know? Because I mainly, when I do these podcasts, I do it conversation-wise, just like this, you know? And it's comfortable for me because I don't want it to feel like you're on Larry King Live, you know? You know, and being hammered with questions left and right, or being grilled by the U.S. Senate. You know, I mean, I try to keep everything in a conversation wise. American Fox does that as well. But as she has been doing it, I started to feel more. And as I started to feel more, I was trying to take advantage of it, and I pushed it to the point where I'm slowly trying to let her go. But she, again, super heroine, fights to the end and wins the battle, you know, saves the day. So mainly, if it wasn't for American Fox, I probably wouldn't be on these podcasts anymore. And I still feel like these podcasts are coming to an end. Because it's not that I don't want to do them. And it's not that I don't want to reach out and try to get guests, which I've been doing. It's just, it's to the point where I've had one person literally tell me I've made a difference. And that's what I always try to want proof. And I don't know if you ever have gotten that thought, but it's like you want the proof that, you know, this is really doing its job. Just like you said, you would want to unlearn things. Well, the learn things I wanted to is I wanted to see the proof that I'm actually making a difference. And
one person's a lot of people, Joey. It just doesn't seem like it in the moment. It's a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's 2. American Fox is the other one.
Okay, so 2. That's twice as many as 1.
Yeah, but I feel like it's not enough. I don't know why, but I just feel like it's not enough. I mean, I had one podcast with a young lady from Kuala Lumpur, and we did like 15 minutes, and that podcast video on YouTube got 1,600 views. All these others that I've done never got more than 60.
How many do you have?
I've done 100. I've done 135 podcasts on the Anchor.fm. Now, on the Anchor.fm, I think the most I did, I'll tell you right now, I have to go into the archives. The highest I believe I've done. Wait a minute. Here we go. Okay. The most that I've done. Yep. Okay. It's not going to tell me. But the most I had at one time was 93 plays, I believe, on the actual Anchor.fm. But that was with a former classmate who wrote a book of poems. 95 plays. She wrote a book of poems and selling it through Amazon. And that podcast got 95 plays. Now, this was before we did the YouTube. That was literally over the phone. Okay. So, yes. And, of course, streaming on T-Mobile 5G, it sucks. Because a little bandwidth just popped out on the screen here in reference to it.
No worries.
Yeah. So the thing is right next to the computer.
StreamYard takes a very strong internet connection. I very much understand. We've used it for most of our episodes, not all of them, most of them.
Yeah, I love StreamYard. StreamYard does a wonderful job.
Yes. Yeah.
But mainly, like I said, give me a moment here. Okay, there we go. So, mainly that's how this podcast has been.
Yeah.
We've done this 5 years, 135 episodes on the Anchor.fm. We're probably up to about 200 here on YouTube now, or getting close. Not 200, maybe 150, 160. But it's not that I'm not tired of it. I love doing these. But at the same time, I can't keep talking by myself forever. And that's why I reached out to guests. Matter of fact, this past weekend, I literally, and what led it to even where it's at right now is I work part-time in Amazon, and my knee went on me, my right knee. It started out as pain, and then it became a meniscus tear. So I've been out for a couple weeks. I'm going back on Sunday. So this past Saturday, I went through Instagram like crazy, and I reached out to as many Olympic athletes as I could. I even reached out to Carmen Electra, to her people. I'm actually good friends with Malo Cara Alt, believe it or not. I've had Gregory Jabbar from Blue Bloods, to the point where we did that episode, that was the day that William Shatner went to space. We were literally watching William Shatner going to space and chatting about it while live on YouTube at the time.
Cool.
I've had a radio legend here in Philadelphia. I just had, like I said, I had the young lady from Kuala Lumpur that raised the most video views. I actually had an actress, Stephanie Santana, who has a new series out called Hot Cop. So, and she's on YouTube, not YouTube. She's also on Instagram as well. And I've reached out to so many people. And then there's so many people that reach out to me, and I'm like, okay, you want to come on? Here's what I do it. Email me, let me know when and where, when and what time. Let's do it. And they haven't gotten back to me, except for some that do. Like your representative reached out to me, and I was like, well, here's the schedule. Let me know what date and time, and we'll squeeze it in. And then, we went from there. So let me remove this. All right. So yeah. So it's not that I'm not tired of doing these podcasts. Like I said, I love them. I love doing them. But it gets to the point where if I have to keep talking, doing podcasts just by myself,
yeah,
it's not worth. I may turn off the audience, literally.
What if you found a co-host?
We worked on that idea.
Yeah.
I accidentally had shown I was actually going to expand this and do a second podcast called Superheroine Chat with Joey C. And I was going to get American Fox. Well, American Fox would have been the first one I did.
Yeah.
She doesn't have the time to be a co-host. Because believe me, if she could co-host, we would be in high heaven right now. we probably would have been doing. Probably would have done about 50 podcasts by now.
Yeah.
On superheroines and going through every superheroine and superhero possible. Like I said, with American Fox, for example, she's an Amazon like Wonder Woman. She has the armbands like Wonder Woman. She has almost the same costume as Wonder Woman, except the bustier is different, the front's different. She has the same strength with the belt like Wonder Woman does. And could, deflect bullets off the armbands, except she just doesn't have a lasso of truth. That's the only difference between her and Wonder Woman.
Okay.
But to me, I mean, she's everything in the world. I mean, we could talk about her adventures. She would tell me all her adventures and everything, and I would just be like melting, like wishing I was there with her, sitting next to her telling me this in person, and just being there. And like I said, I pushed it to the point where that's not going to happen.
Right.
And all I could ever do is regret every day that it happened. And I'm sorry, I'm taking this off of you and
you're good,
me.
my friend. You're good.
I mean, this is supposed to be Life with Kevin, not Life
you're
with Joey.
Good, Joey.
Yeah,
you're good.
yeah,
You're good.
yeah.
Don't worry. No stress. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. But no, I've had some that's like, I've had some people say, well, you always pull it back to yourself. It's supposed to be on the guest. And I was like, yeah, I know. As I get into it, it goes right back to me somehow.
It's your show, Joey. It's your show. You can do whatever you want. You're the host.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Like yesterday, I had Henry Woodman, and I kind of kept it clean, saying he was a crappy golfer. He said, "No, I'm a shitty golfer." I was like, "Okay, understandable." I was like, "Because I don't edit these videos. I don't.
Right.
I just let everything go. So if you can say shit, fuck everything along the way, it's coming on YouTube. Let YouTube deal with it." If they, I mean, it got to the point where I was playing. I actually made a friend in a smooth jazz guitarist named Eric Essex, and I started playing some of his music. And as I started playing some of his music, the copyrights came out. They're like, "Oh, you can't play it here. We had to block it from this point on." And I was like, "Whatever, I don't care. I'm not editing it. I'm not taking it out. Let it. If it's gonna be silent, let it be silent." But go to ericessex.net. He's got a new single out called "Time to Chill," and it is awesome. I love his music. He actually did a rendition of "Ain't No Sunshine" with Ruben Studdard.
Interesting.
From American Idol.
Okay.
And actually met him in person. They actually met in person beforehand.
Okay.
And so if you ever go back to the YouTube channel, I think we did it November of 22. So if you go to the November 22, matter of fact, I was in Atlantic City when I did that. And that's another thing. I try to take it on the road, quote unquote. Yeah. So sometimes I'll do it from a hotel room in Atlantic City. If not Caesars, well, mainly it's been Tropicana or Harris. So it's one of those two. So if I did a podcast on the 29th, it's going to be from the Tropicana. But I try to expand it out.
Yeah.
Like I said, and try to take it on the road. So what's next for Next Level University? Where do you see it 5 years down the line?
Oh man. So it's always hard when I get asked that question because 5 years is a long time, but in the grand schemes, it's not that long. We're going to have another, I don't know, 1,600 episodes because we do an episode every day, so 1,700 episodes. So we'll be at coming up on 3,500 episodes. Mm-hmm. The ultimate goal, Joey, is to have the most successful self-improvement company possible. That's really what we're aspiring to. We're trying to help as many people as humanly possible. So that's what I see in the next 5 years. More episodes, we'll get better, we'll help more people, more clients, the business will grow, but we'll be able to pour back into the business to grow it.
Okay. So how can people reach out to you?
If you just search Next Level University on whatever podcast platform you're on or on YouTube, you'll see us. And then if anybody needs anything from me, you can shoot me a message on Instagram. My handle is @NeverQuitKid, and my email is kevin@nextleveluniverse.com. So questions, comments, concerns, anything I can do to add value, I'm happy to help.
Give me one moment.
Yeah, do your thing.
Okay.
Thank you, my friend.
Questions or concerns, you can reach Kevin out at kevin@nextleveluniverse.com. Also, search Spotify or Amazon or
Apple.
Audible,
yep.
So on. Search Next Level Podcast, you'll find them. Kevin, thank you so much for being a guest on our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime that you want to come on, just shoot me an email. And you have the schedule when I do them. And we'll be happy to do this again. I know American Fox would probably want to have you back on again.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, because she'll probably have more questions for you. Maybe more superhero questions for you at that point.
That's okay. That's always good.
Yeah. And, like I said, American Fox to be found on Twitter at American Fox 4. The way I've been saying it is she's been looking for real friends. I haven't felt like a real friend to her. And that's kind of the isolation that I've been talking about. So she is looking for real people to chat superheroines, even superheroes with. You can find her on Twitter, like I said, at American Fox 4, or on Instagram at American Fox 12018. And let me put that up there real quick. Okay. And this is American Fox, where you can find her. Like I said, she's always looking for people to chat with. Follow her. Most of her posts are normally reposts of other superheroes like Batgirl, Wonder Woman, etc. She would love to hear from you. Believe it or not, she'd love to hear from real people that would really love to chat with her. Because I only could do so much. And I kind of blew the relationship apart. Even though she stands by and still does everything possible, it doesn't feel the same. And it's like I feel bad every day on it. But Kevin, I thank you so much. I did everything possible to try to keep these podcasts at least 30 minutes long. So we did good on that. But,
I appreciate it.
Like I said, thank you for coming on. Anytime you want to come on, just let me know.
I appreciate it.
And thank you, everyone, for watching the YouTube live stream of the Life with Joey Calvin podcast. God bless you all.